Meaning if you don't have Chacona on your account, Pridewin is suggesting that Cartethyia is less valuable.
Bro's about to cry. Holy dude, this guy is so caught up in his feelings. Seeing Cartethyia at tier 1, he's actually about to cry. This is so pathetic, it's unbelievable. These people aren't real, bro. They're 3D objects, bro. They were made in Blender. What are you doing out here starting to get emotional about this? You puss, grow up.
Meaning if you don't have Chacona on your account, Pridewin is suggesting that Chacona?
If you don't have her on your account, these guys are bro, how are you actually about to start crying over this? Are you serious? Wait, why did you record that? Bro, you could just go again.
Pridewin is suggesting that Chacona?
Nah, there ain't no way, bro. Bro, you could have just re-recorded this piece. Bro, you could have just re-recorded this piece. Why you gotta film yourself crying over Tierlist? Bro, he got so caught up in his feelings that Cartethyia was in tier 1, he started crying.
The reason this team tier list came about, he claims I didn't read the changelog, but clearly he didn't read the changelog, because if he had, then he would know, okay, I know he read the changelog.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased to inform you that while Wuthering Waves 3.2 does appear to be a bit of a filler when it comes to content in the update, don't worry, we've got plenty of new content coming up, sponsored by a very, very, very strange phenomenon that's been affecting the gacha space called Saint Derangement Syndrome. And here we have a video by a creator whose content that on average I actually do appreciate. We've got Analytical Vibes, and it's appeared that he's gotten the disease as well, because he's decided to make this video over here in response to some of the critiques that I had regarding his examination of the Pridewin tier list. And the video title is pretty indicative of the content that's going to be in there. Saint tried to expose me, but I expose him instead. And if you actually start taking a look at the channel history, the most recent 3 uploads actually, he's kind of been on a bit of a rampage, where you can see that he's got this video over here exposing the worst woo-wah tier list ever made by Pridewin. I expose Pridewin, and then Saint tried to expose me, but I expose him. I don't really know what is his obsession with the word exposed. Maybe it's like one of the hobbies that he happens to do on the side, you know, a little bit of a trench coat action, to unwilling parts of the population. I don't really know, right? I don't know what other reason he would have for using that word in 3 separate titles and thumbnails. Anyways, that just looks a little bit crazy at this point. And the root cause of this entire situation, right? The exposer over here, analytical exposer, that might as well be what we call him at this point, right? It all originated from this video over here. The first one in this series. And the main reason for why I decided not to fully react to this video was based off of one simple thing. Analytical Vibes can't read, or the evidence from this video is that he can't read, or he can't look for the proper resources to educate himself before doing an examination of a tier list. And this is pretty much the only proof you need to make that assumption. Let's listen right here.
Characters for you. For example, right here, it says the character's signature weapons are included in the rating. In other words, that because they include the signature weapons, certain characters get a value boost because they have their signature weapons, and because Pridewin likes them, that's what I suspect. And other characters, despite having their signature weapons, don't get that value boost. I'm gonna stop speaking vaguely. Let's just go.
You can tell right off of the bat, I don't know if the word is like passion or anger, or just like, he sounds like a little bit frantic. Guys, remember, these are meta takes regarding a tier list. I don't think there's too much of a need to get this emotional about it. Anyways, moving on past that, one of the things that gets proven by this clip over here is that Analytical Vibes did not read any of the disclaimers or any of the additional resources that were indicated in this 3.2 tier list changelog. This is pretty much the only proof you need over here of that. So basically, let me go ahead and show you all what shows up. Analytical Vibes just made the statement, right, that every single character is judged with their signature. Let's read this though. Signature weapons may be given to characters who strongly benefit from them at a slight penalty of an added cost, or really a reduction in their level on the tier list. That's what it says right there in the most recent change logs for this tier list update that he's attempting to drag. And so based off of the fact that he was so blatantly wrong about something so early on in the video, I decided to simply do him a favor and not react to the rest of it, because it's all based on every single point he's making over here is naturally based off of an incorrect assumption done on his end, because he didn't fucking read any of this shit. That's all the proof that you need of that. However, he's decided to go ahead and make a response. A very, very, very spicy response, as they might say. And there's a reason why I'm going to be going through this react. I'm going to be going through this breakdown and honestly, this evisceration of his content over here. No guilt at all. And the reason for that is simple. I responded. He decided to pin me for fun. And because I knew he was actively watching, I gave him the offer over here. If you want to chat instead of me ripping this video apart live on stream, you can just hit me up on Discord. I gave him an out, and he decided not to take it. And so here we are. The gloves are off, and I've basically been given full permission to go as hard as I want with this thing. So yeah, that is currently the situation over here. Some may say, oh, time to go full demon time. I don't think we're actually going to go that hard because, like I said before, I think he makes pretty good content when it isn't related to drama. But the second he starts talking about drama, it all just starts falling apart. So maybe this will be a learning lesson over here. Maybe it won't. Why don't we just go ahead and start reacting to this one together?
Oh boy, do I have a video for you today. Saint Tontas has decided to attack me over my take on the Pride Win Woo tier list, claiming I don't know what I'm talking about and saying outlandish, dumb statements.
We just got proof that you had no idea what you were talking about when it comes to the signature weapons. That's why I made sure to put that in the intro. We have undeniable proof you had no fucking clue what you were talking about.
I had no beef with Saint Tontas up to this point, but now I do. Let's go through the clip of him allegedly debunking my video.
Let's get ready for this one, guys.
He tried to expose me, but I will expose him. I will meticulously and aggressively demolish every statement that he makes and make him look like a buffoon. Let's start from the conclusion.
I don't think that there's too much buffoonery that can really happen over here when we, again, just got proof that you didn't read this and you made an entire rant video knowing that you didn't read the disclaimers in the changelog. Yeah, we have undeniable proof that that's what happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Since most people don't watch the full video, Saint's entire argument for debunking my video is because in my expose, I did not discuss the changelog, which is Pridewin's way of conveying information to the viewer for why they do certain changes.
Yep.
He claims that because I didn't discuss it in the video, I never read it in the first place, or at least there's no proof. And since I didn't read it, according to him, my video is a wash.
It is. Do you want to know why, Analytical Vibes? I've got the actual changelog over here, and I can show you the exact paragraph that proves you either didn't read the changelog or you reacted to it or you reacted to the tier list in the worst possible faith you could ever have. Here we go. Let's just read this. This statement over here is really going to be the kicker after we take a quick review of your original video. If you disagree with this change or the criteria we use, we strongly recommend you to refer to the team tier list, which is solely performance focused as the individual tier list was before this. You are literally being told in this disclaimer, if you have any issues with the value version of the tier list, which clearly Analytical Vibes had a lot of issues with it, right? He just went around, started going Mr. Worldwide to take a shit on this thing, right? You're being told to refer to the team tier list, which shows this, right? The top performing teams in the game, the strongest ones in the game, and the teammates that compose the strongest teams in the game. And of course, it goes down sequentially, or it goes down in order as the teams get weaker. That's what you were told to do if you had a disagreement with the tier list and, of course, wanted to do a bit of a, well, I don't know, a response or critique piece. You were explicitly told to go look at the team's tier list as well to get the full picture. Guess what he doesn't do in the entire vid? Do you see the team's tier list a single time, ladies and gentlemen, anywhere in this video? This is the short answer. No, their team's tier list does not show up a single fucking time in this vid. Not even one time, guys. Doesn't that just seem like concrete evidence or concrete proof that he did not, in fact, read this shit at all? Or he read it and he intentionally chose not to bring up the thing that he was being suggested to do. And guess what it is then, ladies and gentlemen, when you decide intentionally not to show that stuff? That's called reacting in bad faith. Let me just do a little bit of additional searching over here. Maybe he mentions the team tier list in the video, right? Maybe he gives a reason for why he didn't look at it. Let's just look it up over here. Teams. No, there's no mention of the team's tier list in here. Maybe if I look up team. Do you guys see team tier list anywhere in here? Because I don't. No, after doing a search in through here, I don't see the word team tier list mentioned a single fucking time. The only time it actually does get mentioned, right? Is in the comment section of his video. Does this seem like a video or a reaction that was made with the knowledge of what was in this changelog? No. It doesn't. It seems like he did not fucking read this thing. Just saw the placement of the characters on here. And as you can tell from the tone of his voice, just started fucking chimping out over the placement of the characters. And that's a bit rough, isn't it? So why don't we go ahead, keep listening over here, because he's trying to make the argument that he did actually read this, but all we're seeing is evidence against the contrary.
My video is a wash. Pointless and meaningless and not worth to discuss or even watch. Now, I read the changelog before making the video, but Saint doesn't believe me. What's so tragic about his idiotic stance is that if we use his own logic and I didn't read the changelog, my video would still be rock solid because the value tier list was horrific with lots.
So he just went with, I read the changelog, but even if I didn't read it, my video's still right. That just leads me to believe you didn't fucking read anything. What is that logic?
Lots of holes and contradictions, regardless of the rationale Pridewind gave. I know why Pridewind made their value-based tier list, but their reason was stupid. You will find in this video that Saint frequently lies and says dumb statements with no thought or care. And his
Notice how he hasn't given a single reason to justify any of his position. He's just said he's right, and that's kind of just it. That's all he said, is that despite what Saint has said, I'm still right. Where's the proof?
Community has spared no time to attack me and my videos. I'm making this video because his community is mass disliking my videos.
Where? Wait, where is the mass disliking? So remember what I said about there's like no proof? Where is the mass disliking? These just look like the most vanilla 95, 96, 97% dislike ratios or like ratios I've ever seen. Where are the dislikes? So did we just accuse me of mass dislike, of me sinking my community to mass dislike your videos when the stats are literally showing 1.3K and then 43? That is what are we even doing here? Exaggerated vibes. What? This is giving me clapped walnut vibes. And unfortunately, I'm going to tell my community not to do this. You're probably going to end up getting mass disliked now because you just hurled out that crazy false accusation towards my entire community. And now I guess they're going to start turning fiction into reality. And the craziest thing is I can't even stop them at this point, even though I told them not to do it, because you just accused them of doing this with no proof. You do realize how dog shit this video is already, right? This is not looking good. However, we're still going to keep playing it because, like I said, I gave this guy an out already.
They're clicking on it and not watching it, decreasing watch time, which decreases reach. How do I know this is true? Because they admit it, and that's exactly what they're saying. FYI.
Wait, so are you saying that what? How many comments does he show?
I didn't watch this full vid because I don't feel like listening to someone who's wrong. I know he's
Do you have proof this is somebody that's from my community? Wait, so are you just appending the label that, like, people are out here nuking your watch time or something?
a Saint viewer. I'll prove it later. But most importantly of all, they're spamming comments, claiming that I didn't read the changelog. So not only is that not true, but they're using this lie as some kind
Wait, did you just show 3 comments?
of evidence to invalidate the entire video.
That's not even somebody from my community. Because they're clearly trying to inform you about this situation of me, quote-unquote, farming you.
Validate the entire video. What's worse is that, to no one's surprise, Saint didn't watch the video at all. You know what? Let's not get any spoilers. It's crazy what's going on here. So I need to defend myself against...
Against what? So you got like 3 or 4 comments. Your dislike ratio looks fine. So yeah, it was 4 comments he showed. One of them was obviously on his side. And so across 3 videos, he had 3 comments. And suddenly my community has brigaded him off of 3 comments. And you want to know what the funniest fucking part about this is, guys? There's no likes on any of these. 0 likes. Which would, if you were actually getting brigaded, these would all be liked. So there's no likes. There's 1 like on the guy who's trying to help you out, and then 0 likes on all of the other fucking what even is this? This is just the most crazy self-victimization card I think I've ever seen somebody play before. 0 likes on any of these, 3 comments, and your dislike ratios are all 97, 98%. Oh, how dare... Why did he attack me? Oh my gosh. Oh, what a horrible thing has been done to me. I need to respond. What the Bro, this is some of the most bitch-made shit I think I've ever seen on the platform. Quite literally, I think this is the most bitch-made soy boy shit I've ever seen on the platform. Holy fuck. All right, so yeah, that's the, those are the Saint attacked me accusations, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going.
What's going on here? So I need to defend myself against the source. Let's watch his clip right here. Let's listen to what he says about it.
Have you seen Analytical Vibes crash out on Pride Win? I've seen a lot of crash outs.
I forgot to say this. I'm watching all of this clip in 1.5x speed because he just talks so slow and it's stream content. And if I clip out anything in this video, it's because he started arguing with a chatter and is not...
Okay, so he's openly admitting to, I'm gonna take out context, and just trust me, bro. I'm gonna take out context, and don't worry about what I took out. Just trust me, bro. Okay, that's great admission up front.
Not relevant to the conversation that I'm having right now.
Pride Win, and this is the unfortunate thing about the situation. You talk perfectly fine. That's also incredibly true. So yeah, now he's... One point that Analytical Vibes likes to bring up is this idea that I use ad hominems. Yeah, that kind of just is an ad hominem right there, right? Just to like lead us right before the clip even starts. Oh my god, this guy talks like so slow, even though I'm one of the fastest speakers on the platform. There are 2 videos of people crashing out over the Pride Win tier list. And you want to know something crazy about both of them?
Okay.
None of them looked at the changelog a single time. Neither of them looked at the changelog a single... We provided 2 separate pieces of evidence that he did not look at any of that shit. Remember, that's why the intro over here, that's why we're already 20 minutes in and we're only 3 minutes in this video. Because I knew the type of dumb shit this guy was already going to say right off the bat. Single time in their video to explain anything.
Okay, so here's something that you'll notice. There's an underlying supposition that he has, that if I had read it...
You know what a suppository is? It's something you put in your butthole. Why did you use that word?
I would have agreed with it. But since I didn't agree, I must not have read it. This is the most moronic, first grader logic I've ever heard.
Wait, let me replay that.
That if I had read it, I would notice. There's an underlying supposition that he has, that if I had read it, I would have agreed with it. But since...
No, that's not the point at all. The point literally was that you missed such baseline information that was shown in the disclaimers in the changelog regarding the signature weapons, which we've already proven, and of course, the second set of changelogs where it tells you to look at the team's tier list as well, and you did not do that. So, that was what we said was the proof for you not reading the changelog. And he's decided to say and strawman me immediately and say that the reason why I'm saying he didn't read the changelog was because he didn't agree with the tier list. No, it's fine to not agree with it. It's fine to say, oh, I disagree with what's going on over here, but you have just proven that you didn't fucking read any of the disclaimers that are in the fucking changelog. And now he's just making shit up, making up arguments for me. And the craziest thing is, guys, is that he actually plays the clip further and just completely disproves his own fucking point.
Since I didn't agree, I must not have read it. This is the most moronic, first grader logic I've ever heard. It's almost inconceivable to him that someone could have read it, understood it, but had a difference in opinion anyway. Let's continue because it gets even worse.
So he already poisons the well with this ridiculous insinuation that, oh, they didn't agree with the changelog, they didn't agree with the tier list, they must have not read the changelog. That wasn't the point that was ever made. Do we want to give some love to the new Analytical Vibes video? This is the thing, guys. I don't think this video is particularly that great. Because how can we do a deep dive of any tier list if we don't even look at the reasons in the changelog for why stuff is changing? Guys, both these videos over here are trying to take a dookie on it, but neither of them looked at any of the fucking changelogs.
Once again, he's harping on the same point. The idea that the changelog is a good enough reason for why a tier list could be changed.
What is he even saying? Bro, this is the thing. He's interrupting this segment over here with so many random assertions that have nothing to do with what I'm even fucking saying. And the unfortunate part is that what's clear is that he's appealing to the lowest common denominator in this situation. Saint haters. Because it doesn't matter what you say as long as you say Saint bad. Because I don't know what the fuck he's even trying to talk about right now. I don't think anyone does.
As if anything that Pridewind says is law. Changelog is a good enough reason for why a tier list could be changed. As if anything that Pridewind says is law.
When did I say that? When did I say anything that could even be slightly related to that conclusion? As you can see, there's a reason why I said this was an emotionally charged video. Because he's literally just making shit up that, like, I never said. Making up narratives that I never said. And never even slightly insinuated. And is just running with them before I've even said anything in this clip.
And because what they say is correct, that means I must agree with it. You'll notice that throughout this entire clip, he never engages with my ideas, with the videos.
You've played like 20 seconds of the fucking clip, bro. And 90% of this has been you just... Wait, 2809. Let me see when he starts, right? 2809.
Supposition that he has.
Neither of them looked at the changelog a single time. Bro, it's been like a minute and 20 seconds. And specifically, when we're talking about analytical vibes, it's been like less than a minute. So he's out here talking about, oh yeah, like throughout this entire clip, he's doing all these... Bitch, you didn't even play any of the fucking clip yet. It's just been you making shit up the entire time. And because you've been talking for so long, you make it actually look like the clip has been long. But no, there's been no actual speaking done on my end. There hasn't even been a single point delivered yet.
Tier list could be changed. As if anything that Pridewind says is law. And because what they say is correct, that means I must agree with it. You'll notice that throughout this entire clip, he never engages with my ideas, with the videos. He just uses this changelog premise that he set up and invented by himself to debunk the entire video.
There's been 1 minute of the clip played. And nothing, the entire time, it's been on Rene's video. So he's out here making all of these crazy fucking takes when his video isn't even on screen. We haven't even talked about his video yet. And he's already made that many conclusions.
Anything that is said in the video, he never engages with it once. He doesn't even watch it.
So it's kind of just like, what are we doing here? He says I didn't even watch a little bit of it. Let's see. I guess I don't understand it. All they did was look at the placement of the characters, but not the reason for why they're there.
Okay, he provides evidence for why he thinks I didn't read the changelog. We're gonna skip to that right now.
Because this is how I know Why wouldn't he have just played this part? But instead, he just waits until after he's already constructed this wild-ass narrative to actually start playing some of the proof. Analytical Vibes didn't read it.
Okay. you do or don't have on your account that allows them to determine for you what will be the highest value characters for you. For example, right here, it says the character's signature weapons are included in the rating.
That's a typo, and if you had read the changelog, you would know that's a typo. Isn't that what we just looked at the beginning of this video?
So it's a typo, he says. Okay, that's strange. So he's claiming that if I had read the changelog, that I would know it's a typo.
Yes, because the changelog literally says that the characters aren't judged with their signatures. Right fucking here. Signature weapons may be given to characters who strongly... It's right there. It says it right fucking there. This was the most recent changelog. That's the fucking point. Good lord. What are we doing here?
I wonder why he says that. Let's keep watching.
So that's how I know these guys didn't read it. And they just said they did. Let me show you how I know it's a typo. All characters... It's right fucking there.
Look at this. This is part of an explanation for what they use in the tier list. And it seems as though he has me, right? It seems as though he got me.
You did get got.
Saint has exposed me. There's a typo, and I didn't read the changelog because in the changelog, this is not the changelog, by the way. This is just an explanation of the tier list.
This is the rules and criteria page, which in the changelog was mentioned to be changed. And so you were told to, in the changelog, look at the updated roles and criteria page. This is just more fucking evidence that the guy didn't even fucking read this shit. Bro, oh my lord. If you want more details on how exactly you're graded characters, read the updated information and the criteria sections. Bro, it says it right there. The tier list looks nothing like it used to be, and we recommend if you want more details, look at the updated information and criteria sections. Bro, that's what it says in the changelog. And so, even in this video, he just confirms that he did not fucking read this shit. He just further confirms he did not fucking read any of this shit at all.
This is not changed since they made the tier list.
This has not changed since they made the tier list. He's just further confirming he doesn't fucking read this shit. Because it says right there they changed it. Do you guys see why I called this video a fucking disaster? Do you guys see why I said this is so ridiculous and it has to be a result of Saint derangement syndrome? Because he just said the criteria did not change at all when it literally says right here that it changed. And do you remember why I said that this video just appeals to the lowest common denominator? Where if you say Saint bad, you get updates. Because how the fuck would you even make this video talking about how you do read things and that I'm just attacking you for no reason when all you're verifying with this vid is that you didn't fucking read anything. And you're continuing to prove you didn't fucking read anything. And the critique was, this motherfucker is out here talking about the tier list, talking about how bad it is when he didn't read anything. And you, with this vid, you're just providing more proof that that's what happened. Do you see now why I gave your stupid ass a chance to talk to me on a call instead of this react? Because I knew this shit was fucking cooked. I said for a reason, if you make it 7, 8, 9 minutes in, you'll know this shit is trash. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna pin him. Yeah, I'm just gonna pin a shame him. I bet you feel real fucking shameful right now, don't you dipshit?
If I read this, I would have known that's a typo. But check this out. Check this out. Within minutes of his previous statement, Saint reads another sentence that's completely contradictory to what he just said and doesn't even realize it because he...
Wait, he just doesn't even address the fact that he didn't read it. Wait, he just doesn't even address the fact that he said this crazy-ass statement over here that directly contradicts what's in the changelog.
It says the character's signature weapons are included in the rating. And
wait, he just like Jesus absolved himself of this entire thing. He just didn't even address it. He didn't even read out the sentence, signature weapons may be given to characters who strongly benefit from them at a slight penalty of an added cost. Wait, he just completely like fucking went past that. He didn't even talk about it. Wait, let's play that again.
This is just an explanation of the tier list. This is not changed since they made the tier list.
So we know that's wrong. It has changed. It was mentioned in the changelog that it changed, and you were told to read it, but he didn't.
If I read this, I would have known that's a typo. But check this out. Check this out. Within minutes of his previous statement, Saint reads another sentence that's completely contradictory to what he just said and doesn't even realize it because he doesn't think.
They're only included in the rating for some characters, which it literally says right here. Signature weapons may be given.
So, Saint says that I didn't read the changelog, claiming that because I used the fact that they use the signature weapons at the beginning of that text as evidence, that Pridewind makes a lot of assumptions.
You said all the characters had all their signature weapons right here.
What will be the highest value characters for you. For example, right here, it says the character's signature weapons are included in the rating. In other words, that because they include the signature weapons, certain characters get a value boost because they have their signature weapons and because Pridewind likes them. That's what I suspect. And other characters, despite having their signature weapons, don't get that value boost.
So you just said all characters have their signature weapons. But in here, it doesn't say that. It says that it's only given to some of them that don't have any other alternatives. It's right there. It's literally right there. And he said value boost, not a cost, added cost.
And then he selectively reads a certain part of it at the top, saying Pridewind actually uses 4-star weapons. Takes 2 minutes to talk to a chatter, and then comes back and reads a line that proves exactly what I said is always true.
So you know why he doesn't play the clip? Because he's just making shit up right now. He's just making shit up. Did you hear that summary that he just did? He tries to summarize what's going on in this clip, refuses to play it because he's literally just making shit up. There's no proof of anything he just said here.
So I'm having trouble understanding. He said I didn't read it, but having just read it, he proved that my assertion that they use signature weapons in the rating is correct.
The signature weapons are literally only used for units like Brant and Cartethyia, who literally don't have applicable 4-star or standard options because of their unique stat scaling. That was the implication of that fucking statement that you see right here. He just said in his video because all he read was this shit, the typo that every character has their signature. Once again,
the tier list has an alarming amount of assumptions about what you do or don't have on your account that allows them to determine for you what will be the highest value characters for you. For example, right here, it says the character's signature weapons are included in the rating.
And if you read this shit, signature weapons may be given to characters who strongly benefit, then you would know that that's a typo. You would know that that's a typo. But because you didn't read this, you're now arguing against everything that I'm saying, even though you know it's true. You didn't read this shit, and you just confirmed you didn't read any of this shit either because you said the page didn't get updated, even though in the fucking changelog, it says the page got updated. That's just another confirmation, bro. You didn't fucking read any of this stuff.
He just proved me right. And
where? Bro, he's just saying shit now. And remember what I said. Lowest common denominator, Saint Derangement Syndrome. You could just say I'm wrong and have no proof at all, and people will say that you're based and that you're spitting. Take your medication, ladies and gentlemen.
He didn't even have any cognitive dissonance to recognize that.
He didn't even have any cognitive dissonance to recognize that. No, cognitive dissonance is not a good thing. Cognitive dissonance is a bad thing. Analytical vibes. Your cognitive dissonance over here is literally causing you to just say random fucking sentences with no proof and then just say you're right while not playing my clip. That is the example of cognitive dissonance. So you're even fucking using that shit incorrectly.
This is literally a criticism I made in the video. How in a value-based tier list, assuming signature weapons for some characters versus others makes it so that some characters will gain more benefit and more value on your account because they're assuming that you have their signature weapon.
Did he's just not reading the part where it says at a slight penalty of an added cost? So that if a character has their signature weapon, they get bumped down in the rating because you're assumed to have spent more on them. That it says it right there. So this whole advantage that you're talking about, the bias, literally gets addressed. But because you didn't read this shit, it literally says they have a penalty. And he just said that they didn't. Bro, it's actually in front of you and you're still not reading it. That's crazy.
Value on your account because they're assuming that you have their signature weapon.
He just starts talking about the value increase of having the signature, but didn't read the part right in front of him that says they get a penalty. It's right there. It's right there. I actually genuinely think bro has some sort of reading disability at this point. It's actually just in front of the screen. as he's talking about this piece. He just neglects to mention it.
A prime example of this is Frolova. Like I said, Frolova's signature weapon gives her a 44% DPS increase. How do I know this? Because I took a screenshot of the calculations that Pridewind made months ago for the Frolova weapon, and it was at around 44%. They've since changed how they calculate things. Now they calculate things based on teams, so it's around 28%. We can actually look at that right now. Frolova, right here. Build. Here.
What does this have to do with anything?
Here, 28% from the standard signature weapon, just like I would expect. I just have a good memory, I guess. Because Pridewind assumes you have Frolova's signature weapon, her value is greatly increased on a value-based tier list. So
Is he just neglecting to mention the part about the penalties of added cost? Is he just still refusing to talk about the penalty of added cost? He's just still not talking about it, right? So he's just saying some characters get their SIG and they get a boost, but he's not talking about the literal penalty of added cost part right here.
was entirely correct. Now, here's what's particularly interesting. That text that Saint just pointed out right there,
you didn't even fucking read it, so why are you talking about the text that I pointed out?
which completely exonerates me, it's here. You'll notice that it's no longer there on Pridewind's website.
Because they changed the tier list back, you stupid retard. Because it was too complicated for idiots like you. That's the point. They changed it back because you couldn't read it. Why do you think I've been pulling up the old version? Because this shit was clearly above your stupid fucking head. So yes, they changed back the criteria and roles part because y'all were too retarded to understand it and actually read the updates. So it's not there anymore. That's the point. Because you were too stupid to understand it in your original video. Pridewind gave up because you're too dumb. What the fuck?
So they have this right here, and it's gone. Additionally, that text that's in his clip is no longer here.
What are you trying to prove other than that you are a fucking dipshit?
Now, here's another interesting piece of evidence.
And so... Wait, he just moved on. Hey guys, here's the evidence that my stupidity literally led to the tier list being reverted. Look at it. What the fuck? If a character has their SIG, their rating gets naturally dropped down if they're SIG reliant. What? How do you even make this video? How do you even make this video, bro? That is shown right there, but in this video, obviously, he didn't read that part.
Oh my goodness.
Which calls into question, did he even read any of this shit?
Okay, so he just lied again. Complete.
And now he just says, I lied, when we have like 300 different pieces of evidence that is exactly what took place. What? He just says, okay, I need to hear the reason for how I lied, apparently. Let's get ready for this one, guys.
Fiction. Characters using their signature weapons does not demote them in Pridewind's tier list. He just made that up. It's
What? It says it right there in their fucking changelog that they get bumped down from having the SIG. Wait, so he just said it's not true when it says it right there. How do you even do this? I'm going to be honest with you. How do you even say shit like this? It says it right there. Wait, it's been on his video for like the past 5 fucking minutes. So he's just saying I made that up when I'm the only person reading the goddamn changelog. What?
just false. Here's how I know that signature weapons are included in the ratings. I was there when Pridewind made this tier list years ago. I remember when Pridewind made the change from regular weapons to a signature weapon. Let's go through every single character calculation, or at least most of them.
He just goes on this entire explanation when it literally says right here that the characters are not calculated with signatures, and if they are, they get a penalty. And now he's like, oh, I was an OG. I know when all the changes occurred. No, you fucking don't, because you then would have known that this change was in there. And then it got reverted because people like you are too retarded to understand the changes. Oh boy. All right, let's listen to this.
And see, what does Pridewind use for their calculation? So this is Imith's calculations. And down here, we have the damage that Imith does in a one target scenario and her rotation. And here's the character build that they use. Now, this weapon right here is Imith's signature weapon. That's strange. Why
Analytical Vibes. Despite being somebody that likes to talk a lot about how much you know about Pridewin, this is what you're supposed to do. You take a look at this. They give you the 100% baseline with Iman's signature. And so then you take this number, right? And then you multiply it by what's in here to get what... That's the point. You take that number, and if you're using EOG, you calc it with 83.5% of the number in here, and then you get what the results look like with EOG. That's what the percentage is for, you fucking bum. You moron. And so he's deciding to show that this, because they calc it with this, so that you get the 100% baseline, and then you just multiply. What are you even doing here? What the fuck? OGs don't go off math. They go by vibes. Analytical Vibes.
Why is Pridewin using this signature weapon when St. Tontas just claimed that they don't?
Because clearly, hey, this is what I think Pridewin needs to start doing. I think Pridewin, because the player base and the CCs for this game are so retarded, I guess they just should gunk up their calculations page, right? And just show 7 different charts for all the weapons, because some of you dipshits can't just do 83.5% times these. How dumb can you be to just expose yourself like this in your lack of fucking understanding? He's like, oh, look, they're using the signature weapon here. Bro, this just means you haven't looked at this fucking page a single time in your life. Oh, wait. You already proved that you did here, because that's where it comes from. Oh, so you know that this page exists. You're just intentionally presenting your proof in literal, proven bad faith, which would only work if your audience is full of retarded children. Because most people would understand, you just take this 82% and then multiply it by the numbers that are on the calculations page, and then you would see how much damage those weapons do. But I guess that's too complicated, or you're intentionally just misportraying the information to try to get a one-up in this argument. I see. W Analytical Vibes. W.
That they use. Now, this weapon right here is Iman's signature weapon. That's strange. Why is Pridewin using this signature weapon?
They need to add an IQ test. This guy would definitely not be allowed on the website anymore.
When St. Tontas just claimed that they don't. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Iman just has that. Surely. I mean, maybe the other characters won't. Lene, who doesn't need her signature weapon, everyone knows that she performs really well with the standard banner one, is also using the signature weapon. That's also a little strange.
It's strange how retarded you are. That's just all I'm gonna say. It is strange how fucking stupid you are.
Well, I mean, surely. I'm not going to go through every single character. Oh, another signature weapon. Yeah, but Sagrika is a character that requires certain requirements. So certain characters don't need their signature weapons, right? I mean, Augusta is super strong. You can just use Mortify. She doesn't need her signature weapon.
Bro's literally using the character build page where they're just showing the unit at their max potential. And then you're meant to just... What the... Dude, this is the most dog shit video I've ever seen.
Oh, would you look at that? Everything I'm doing right now is completely theatrical, by the way, because I already know what the truth is, because I was there when they wrote the tier list.
What are you even saying?
Every character uses their signature weapon as a baseline on Pridewin.
Yes, that was the baseline on the old tier list. And it is now the baseline on the reverted tier list. And the purpose of the changelog, which you clearly did not fucking read, was to be a value-based tier list, because characters who can use the standard weapons very well are gonna have higher value than units that feel like they need their signature just based off the weapon conversation. That is the fucking point. And now that you're going ahead and just somehow on like this stint, right, that every character has their signature, even though it literally said on the value changelog that they don't, what are you doing? It's clear that there is some sort of disability at play here. Okay, what is this? I was there when Darway created Pride with Tier. Yeah, he was there since the start, boys. He was there. He was there at the dawn of a new horizon. Bro, the only thing you were there for is like fucking Saturday school and a repeated like 3rd, 2nd, and 4th grade, bro. You are so stupid. It's unfucking believable.
It's not a typo. That's literally what it is, because I read and use and actively look at Pridewin all of the time across.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you just straight up had the section right here where it shows that they had an added cost, and you somehow did not read that while making this entire fucking vid. Bro, why are you just lying like this?
All of the time across all of the games. The only characters you'll notice doesn't use their signature weapon as the baseline are support characters whose signature weapon doesn't notice. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. They don't even have a calculation for Mornier.
Because she doesn't do any fucking damage, you moron.
Wait, do they have one for Shorekeeper? Okay, they do. Shorekeeper should not have it. Yes. So for support characters, they don't have it. The reason being that Shorekeeper's signature weapon doesn't tangibly increase the damage of the team by that much.
No, it's because an R5 variation shortens the rotation compared to an R1 Stellar Symphony, and so they're showing the better option. An R5 variation is better than R1 Stellar Symphony in a lot of teams. And so they're showing that... Never mind, this guy's...
Just a signature weapon, in order to be ranked accurately next to Arrow Rover, must be included. That's why if you use their own logic, Chissa must be right here. That's simply how it works. Verina, no way they use the signature weapon.
She doesn't have a signature weapon, you fucking dipshit. What do you mean Verina's signature? What? Verina's signature weapon. What?
They don't even calculate it. So the only person on this site who probably showcases that they don't know, definitely they did calculations for her.
Bro, what is this guy?
Nope.
What is he just...
So the only person is Shorekeeper at the very beginning of the tier.
This is the part of the video that I would normally skip, but since Analytical Vibes was so anal about the idea that stuff couldn't be skipped, we're just watching this entire fucking car crash.
So after they didn't use Shorekeeper's signature weapon, they didn't even go back for all of these other characters and put in a calculation. Jesus Christ. So he tries to discredit me, saying I'm lying, that signature weapons are not included in the rating.
They weren't on the updated value tier list unless it was a specific character that needed them. And again, it was just showed over here, and he even showed it in his own fucking video that we just saw, and he just skipped over this piece. Signature weapons may be given to characters who strongly benefit from them at a slight penalty of an added cost. Bro, how do you even go on this much of a tangent in your arguments? Oh, wait. My initial claim was that Analytical Vibes can't fucking read. And he just proved over here by going on this fucking tangent, he can't fucking read.
But they clearly are. That's the decision Pridewin made. So either Saint Totas is insanely retarded, or he's malicious.
And now he's going to call me dumb or malicious, when literally the only person that can be labeled as such is this fucking idiot. Because how the hell do you just refuse to read this part of the changelog? How do you just refuse to read this incredibly easy to understand statement and then go on a tangent this long that just proves how little you actually read of this? This is what you call projection, ladies and gentlemen. He's calling me malicious or retarded. Those are labels that can only be applied to him.
I'll let you take a guess on which one is the truth. Okay, now let's continue to the next
Same here.
clip. And he pretty much just insults this person. But it's not relevant to me. He just has an argument with that person for like a super long time. Okay, for like the next 10 minutes. He just keeps attacking this person's character, whatever.
Yes, you just called me malicious or retarded, Analytical Vibes, because you can't fucking read. Ironic that you're out here saying that when you just attacked me, called me retarded or malicious because you were unable to read.
Here, he's going to be talking with another viewer. So he kind of moved on, but then he comes back to it. Let's hear what he has to say.
Bro, I'm talking about...
He talks about the purpose of a value tier list.
Can we at least agree the value list was such a weird decision since every other game has a combat power one?
Yes.
Yes, the point of the value tier list was to be looked alongside the teams tier list, which shows the combat power of the teams.
Okay, let's just pause right here. This has to be the dumbest, most insanely idiotic, stupidest thing I've heard anyone say about this value tier list.
Why? Oh, wait. Analytical Vibes probably has that take, right? because this is just more proof that he didn't read the fucking changelog. Because in the changelog, remember, right? It literally tells you to refer to the team's tier list. And so me echoing what's in the changelog got this guy to say it was the dumbest, most retarded, stupidest, whatever thing he's ever heard. That implies he never heard it before because he didn't read the fucking changelog. So that's just more proof in his own video that he can't read. Oh my gosh. Oh my lord.
He's essentially saying that in order for this value tier list to have any value at all, it needs to be used alongside the other tier list in order for you to understand this one. Do you know why that doesn't make any sense?
It's right there. It's right. He's making it sound like this was my original idea. He's making it sound like I'm the one that suggested that take. But it's right there, and he would have known that if he read the fucking changelog a single time. But he didn't.
The reason this team tier list came about, he claims I didn't read the changelog, but clearly he didn't read the changelog, because if he had, then he would know, okay, I know he read the changelog because I actually watched his 1 hour long video of him reviewing the 3.2 update.
What are you even saying? Bro, what is he even saying right now?
So, but he clearly didn't understand it.
Can I just replay that?
Be used alongside the other tier list in order for you to understand this one. Do you know why that doesn't make any sense? The reason this team tier list came about, he claims I didn't read the changelog, but clearly he didn't read the changelog, because if he had, then he would know, okay, I know he read the changelog because
Bro, this is a recorded video. You could just edit that out because you sound stupid. You can just go again. This is a recorded video.
I actually watched his 1 hour long video of him reviewing the 3.2 update. So, but he clearly didn't understand it.
He just said the idea of looking at a team's tier list alongside the value one was the stupidest thing he's ever fucking heard, when that's literally what the changelog suggests you do. So this whole idea that he watched the 1 hour video I made on it, I don't know if I can believe that, because we covered this piece right here. What is even going on, bro?
The reason the team tier list came about is because it was so good, so over-encompassing, giving you a wide variety of complete information that it made the individual power one invalid, or at least it wasn't as useful, allegedly.
Yes, because if you look at it in the present day, you stupid retard, this is what the team's tier list looks like in relation to the individual one. We're reverting the tier list back to how it used to be. Guess what it looks like right now? Bro, it's just all of the teams here now show up in the same order down here. They're all just the same fucking things. Look, at tier 0, you have Ameth and Sigrika. Oh, wow. Tier 0, we got Ameth and Sigrika. Then in tier 0.5, you got Augusta, Cart, Galbreda, Luke, and Frolova. Oh, guess what? You see those exact same fucking characters. And so, the new and improved tier list is just a carbon fucking copy of this one. The reverted tier list, which you're celebrating, is just a carbon copy. It's the same fucking photo. And that means it's kind of fucking useless, because now they're both the same fucking tier list. I don't think he's smart enough to notice that. Yeah, so much for being analytical, right?
That's at least what they claimed. So they wanted to make another tier list that gave you a different perspective, only for this other tier list to be handicapped and not give you a good perspective at all. In fact, the value-based tier list led to a variety of incorrect conclusions in the first place, even if you paired it with the team tier list, which I outlined exclusively in the expose, and I will continue to outline now after.
How did you do that when you didn't look at the team's tier list a single time in your video? How did you do that in your expose when you didn't look at the team's tier list a single fucking time in your video? Like there's the proof, right? You didn't look at it once. So, no, you just lied again. This is just a lie. You lied. There's the proof you lied. You said you looked at the team's tier list, but you didn't. It's not in here. Not even once.
After I finished debunking his clip, it's leeching off of the team tier list in order for you to understand it. So let me get this straight. You need to use cross-reference this tier list with this one, which doesn't need this other tier list.
Is that too hard for you? Are you too dumb to do that? Are you too stupid to do that? Are they asking too much of you? Probably, right? Because I think you're actually fucking stupid.
At all in order to understand it.
What, you dumb little retard? Is that too much? Are they asking for too much? Apparently so.
Continues. It gets even dumber.
And so we're beginning to piece together the picture. They're making me look at 2 tier lists, mommy. I'm too retarded for this. I can't have that. That's not acceptable. That's how that entire segment came off. Over here, right? You need both parts to get the full picture, and you only chose to look at one of them and then say, wait, I don't have the full picture, even though the other, like, part of the jigsaw puzzle's right here. You just didn't put them together for some odd reason.
What's the point of creating a tier list that requires another tier list for you to understand the first one?
It doesn't. It gives you additional details.
Team tier list doesn't need a value-based tier list to understand what's going on here.
Yes, it does, if your question is, which of these characters on here should I pull? Which sub-DPS is the one that I should pull? Which character here is good without their signature? What are the most budget teams on here? Yes, that's where the value tier list comes to help answer those questions.
Imeth is tier 0 if you have this team right here, and then at any point you can click inside and look at the prep.
Oh, so now he can go in and look at additional resources? Wait. I thought we were too retarded to look at 2 tier lists side by side, but now we're gonna go through the effort of clicking into the individual character pages. Oh, I see. So we'll look at supplementary resources when it benefits our position. And when it doesn't, we're just going to say it's too much work to look at a second tier list. But this isn't.
Plethora of very valuable information that Pride One gives you.
So you're telling me that this is a better alternative than a simple value tier list running in and individually looking at the fucking character pages and like reading all these fucking calculations and reading all this shit, when the tier list would just summarize this information that you're literally seeing him click around in multiple spots for. Good lord.
And yet here he's saying that in order to understand this tier list, you need this one, but this one doesn't need the other one.
He just rounds back to the point that it's better to click through each of those characters individually, look at the build pages and all of that, versus just a simple tier list that breaks it down. I'm sorry, bro. This guy is stupid.
So stupid. It's so idiotic. Okay, next, let's continue because...
Hey guys, it's way better to individually go into all these pages over here, do all of this research, read the review, read the build, read the gameplay of the teams, as opposed to just having a tier list. Yeah, bro. Yeah, no, this is a way better alternative. Let me go in and read all this fucking shit. You serious, man? There's no way, right? There's no way that's the position. You remember the lowest common denominator thing? You had to be retarded to think this guy is spitting.
A chatter asks him about that. A chatter asks him, okay, what's the purpose of a tier list that requires the use of a different tier list?
Then what was the purpose of the value tier list? Reread your question.
Okay. Why doesn't he just answer the question?
Because the answer's in the question. And the fact that you don't understand either analytical vibes, that the answer's in the question, that also means you're fucking stupid too.
Answer the question. What's the purpose?
The point of a value tier list is to provide the value of the units in the game. Like, do you need an additional explanation on top of that? This is just further confirmation you are dumb. Question for a second, and you'll realize you already answered it.
So he's claiming that the purpose of the value tier list is because it gives you the value? Oh my goodness. Let's finish the clip, but I'm going to absolutely eviscerate this point.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay, there we go. Check this out. Check this out.
This is like saying, what's the point of a strength tier list? What's the point of a strength tier list, guys? To show how strong. And so suddenly he has this huge problem with value? Dude. You just have to take that slight second level in thinking. Like just a little baby leap up there, and he could not do that.
This is probably...
Overstream.
Look at this.
They like start freaking out.
Look at this. There's a...
I'm ESL, by the way.
Look at what just happened. This guy made a completely valid and logical point. If a tier list needs another one to get the full picture, then is that list necessary?
Do you think any tier list out there can give you the full picture? Are you saying that any tier list that doesn't give you the full picture by itself is a bad tier list? Great, because you know what this current tier list doesn't do? It doesn't give you the full picture just looking at it. So is this one dog shit as well? This team's tier list also. No tier list, if for any fucking game ever, gives you the full picture. They can't, because it's literally just letters or numbers, tier 0, tier, and then a list of the fucking units. So there's no way you could even have the full picture, because they're meant to be a condensed summary and overview where you dig deeper to find additional information. And this implication that this guy brings up, an absolute banger of a point over here, just shows how little Analytical Vibes understands about tier lists at all.
And he completely ignored that comment. And
because it's retarded. And the fact you're pointing it out like it's a gotcha means you're retarded too.
He never addresses it.
Because what's the fuck? I just addressed it right now, and hopefully you understand how stupid your points are.
Instead, he now is going to attack for the next 2 minutes before moving on indefinitely that this character's English isn't this guy's first language.
Yes, because my viewpoint is that if the other person doesn't understand me, what's the point in talking to them? I think it's a waste of my time, and I think it's a waste of their time. Is that crazy? Is that awful? Is that bad? No, I just don't like wasting my time trying to communicate with people who don't understand me.
And as a result, anything that Saint says to him, he wouldn't be able to understand. And he never even addresses this point ever, because
Analytical Vibes, you haven't addressed the fact that A, you didn't read any of the fucking changelog. You haven't addressed the fact that you didn't even know the reason for why the changelog changed. And of course, you haven't addressed this incredible fact over here that it explicitly says the criteria and roles section was changed, and you said that it's always been the same.
Because that's what Saint does. He doesn't actually engage with any ideas. All he does is just ad hominem attacks endlessly. And then he claims...
No, I have proof for pretty much everything I said. Anytime I call you stupid or retarded in this video, Analytical Vibes, I have a very, very good reason for doing so.
...that something is true in order to invalidate an entire video.
You've just further proven in this vid over here, across so many instances, you didn't read shit. So your video and your takes are even more invalidated after you posted this one. Great. Do you, what, then you're not, are you just basically saying I'm fishing in an empty well then? Like, now I just think you're not going to understand whatever I say regardless. So, like, why,
oh my goodness.
At this point, I'm wondering why you're even asking questions if you're not going to understand the answers.
There we go.
Like, I'm going to be real here, right? I don't understand it.
Anyway, we don't even need to watch this. That's actually...
Yeah, because you know that's a perfectly reasonable response to have.
Actually, the entire clip. Let's address this idea that a value-based tier list adds any value at all to a team tier list, and why that's a problem.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
So, a value-based tier list that they made was so atrocious because it completely contradicted everything that you would expect. I could take my headphones off because I don't need to listen to them anymore. Let's look.
Can he just, like, provide his reasons for why things are bad? Like, is that just something that he's capable of doing before saying something is awful and terrible? Can he provide the reasons for it?
Look at my video. Here are consequences of a value-based tier list that make absolutely no sense. Here, in their value-based tier list right here, we have Cartethyia, who, according to Pridewind's tier list, has the same value as Carlotta and main DPS Phoebe. Do you understand how...
Because main DPS Phoebe can use a free-to-play 4-star weapon alongside the free-to-play Spectro Rover and a free-to-play Mortefi and Clear. That is the point. Cartethyia, on the other hand, requires her signature, and based off of the sentence over here that your retarded mind just keeps trying to omit for some fucking reason, if a character has their signature, their rating gets penalized. This is Cartethyia being in tier 1 because she's signature reliant. And you would understand that if you read this shit a single time. And so he already should know the reason, and you would know the reason and stop chimping out over this Cartethyia placement because she's only there off the basis of her being sig reliant. And it is confirmed right in the fucking changelog for this value tier list update. He still just doesn't understand them. It's incredible at this point.
Insanely idiotic and stupid that sounds. Not to mention, the partner tag now no longer makes any sense. So look at this partner tag, Chacona. This is essentially implying that Cartethyia is tier 1 in value, equal to Carlotta and main DPS Phoebe, as long as you have Chacona.
That's because all of these other characters can use a standard weapon or a free-to-play one and pop off. Carlotta has the new phasic homogenizer. So does Galbraina. Yuno has pulsation bracers, and she's got the fish weapon. This bitch got nothing. And so that's why she got bumped down, because she has to use her SIG. And if you read this shit a single time, you would understand that. And just so you know, I'll even bring up the fucking weapons, bro. I'll show you the exact ones. Look how strong these standard fucking weapons are, bro. Oh, not this bitch. Look how strong all these standard weapons are, bro. This is the one that Carlotta and Galbraina can use. Yeah, it's kind of strong, isn't it, for a free-to-play option? Then this is the one that Yuno can use. Oh, yeah, kind of strong for a free-to-play option, isn't it? That's the entire point, is that all these characters, right, they got, like, the stronger options available, but Cartethyia doesn't have them. And so she gets her rating bumped down because she's SIG reliant, while all these other ones listed over here don't need their SIGs to pop off. It's kind of, it should be so obvious, but this guy is so stupid, it's unbelievable.
But if you don't have Chacona, that means that you need to lower this character's value by 1 tier, because that's what all of these tags mean.
No. That means that to be in tier 1, she needs Chacona, so you don't even know how the partner tag even works. You just don't even know how it works in the first place.
Generally speaking, in Pride Win, the idea is if you don't have whatever is necessary in red, then drop that character by 1 tier.
No, it's not. Some characters drop like 3 tiers if they don't have who they need.
If you don't have Chacona on your account, Pride Win is...
Zani, for example, is a tier 5 unit without Phoebe. She's tier 5 without a Phoebe.
Suggesting that Chacona, that Cartethyia is...
Bro's about to cry. Holy shit. Dude, this guy is so caught up in his fucking feelings. Seeing Cartethyia at tier 1, he's actually about to fucking cry. This shit is so pathetic. It's unbelievable. These people aren't fucking real, bro. They're fucking 3D objects, bro. They were made in Blender. What are you doing out here starting to fucking get emotional and shit about this? You fucking pussy. Grow up.
Necessary in red, then drop that character by 1 tier. Meaning if you don't have Chacona on your account, Pride Win is suggesting that Chacona...
Chacona? If you don't have her on your account, these guys are Bro, how are you actually about to start crying over this shit? Are you serious? Bro, you actually are crying. Wait, why did you record that? Bro, you could just go again.
Suggesting that Chacona, that in Pride Win, the idea is have Chacona on your account. Pride Win is suggesting that Chacona...
Nah, there ain't no way, bro. Bro, you could have just re-recorded this piece. Bro, you could have just re-recorded this piece. You could have just re-recorded it. Why you gotta film yourself crying over Tierlist? Bro, he got so caught up in his feelings that Cartethyia was in tier 1, he started crying. Bro, this motherfucker crying over a tier list. That's crazy. We gotta make that the intro, bro. Yo, I'm gonna tell my editors to make that the intro. This shit is embarrassing, bro. Hey, let's play it one more time.
Character by 1 tier. Meaning if you don't have Chacona on your account, Pride Win is suggesting that Chacona, that Cartethyia is less valuable than Carlotta and Phoebe. Completely.
They're in the same tier, you fucking dipshit. So where is this whole idea that they're less valuable is coming from when they're in the same tier? And second, if you have a Cartethyia without Chacona, yes, she is less valuable. What the fuck? Have you ever played Cartethyia without a Chacona? Are you on drugs? Wait, let me just hear that again. Sorry, I got distracted by him bitching and moaning about shit.
Character by 1 tier. Meaning if you don't have Chacona on your account, Pride Win is suggesting that Chacona, that Cartethyia is less valuable.
She is. You understand that, right? A Cartethyia without a Chacona is worse
than Carlotta and Phoebe.
That's true. And this just shows that you don't play the game enough to be making meta takes like this. You legitimately don't.
Completely ignoring the contradiction that not only does Cartethyia do more damage than them, but
not without Chacona.
But the tier list is split between 2 game modes, and to suggest that one character is its same value as another one
Did this guy just skip over the fact there's a Weewa value tier list as well? Wait. Did he, in his fucking breakdown, in his infinite wisdom, did he fail to see? Did he fail to fucking see that there's a Weewa tier list as well? Wait, there's no way, right? There's no way somebody could be that dumb. There's a Whimpering Waste one as well for value. It literally... It says right there, this is the value tier list, right? Doing this along. There's a Whimpering Waste one. So what is he doing out here talking about one tier list for value? Hold up. There's no way.
Suggests that one character is its same value as another one when the tier list is split by 2 game modes doesn't even make any sense.
That's why there's a separate one for the other game mode, you fucking moron.
So, Cartethyia...
It's on his screen, too. He's just hiding it with this shit. What the fuck?
Is pretty good in...
Wait! He just clicked it?
Whimpering Wastes, but it's hard to tell because they have the Expert +1 tag, but she's actually tier 1 right here. So they're essentially stating that a new player will look at this tier list and think to themselves, oh, I guess I can either get main DPS Phoebe, or Carlotta, or Cartethyia because they're all the same value and I'll perform well in Tower of Diversity. But not recognizing that if you were to get Cartethyia, you'd also be getting a character that's valuable in the other game mode. So
what? There's 2 tier lists for a reason. And so you're meant to look at both of them. Did he just say, if you only looked at the TOA one, you wouldn't know that she's also... Yeah, because you're intentionally choosing to only look at one of them. I forgot. This is the guy that said you can't look at the team's tier list alongside the value one, right? That's too much work. And so I guess it's too much work for him to look at the TOA one alongside the Whimpering Waste one. That's too much work too, isn't it?
Somehow retaining...
This is the laziest, stupidest motherfucker I think I've ever seen in content creation.
Double the value. You know why Pridewind is able to make this absolutely moronic claim? Because a value-based tier list values flexibility. Because Carlotta works with Zetchi and Cantarella and Linnae by dragging down Linnae's performance, they say that Carlotta's can get up and running much sooner, according to them. Thus, Carlotta has good value.
Yes, because she has 3 different sub-DPSs she could use. A Cartethyia has 1. Yes, a character that can work alongside 3 other units versus one that can only work with 1 has higher value from the flexibility side. Is that confusing?
And Phoebe can get up running more too. As you can see here, Phoebe on their account, main DPS Phoebe has a higher value than Zani. Why? Because according to them, main DPS Phoebe is flexible.
Yes, because she works with Spectro Rover, who is a free.
Zani isn't.
And Zani requires Phoebe.
Zani needs Phoebe in order to function well. So their value prioritizes flexibility.
Is that confusing? Or do we have an issue with that? Do we have an issue with the idea that value incorporating flexibility in team options is do we not think that's true?
Except you would never say to someone, okay, in order to have a successful account, you should summon for Luke. Luke is in tier 0, and yet he's absolute in value, in their value tier list, and yet...
Because he literally works with Verina Sanhua and pops off. And you could just pull him, use the standard weapon on him. Remember, the amazing new standard gauntlet. All you need to do is pull Luke, get this for free, and you have an endgame team because Sanhua's free and Verina is free too. That's why he's high in value. He has the best free-to-play weapon in the game. Literally the best. That's why he was tier 0. It's a recognition of that strength.
He's absolutely dog water in Whimpering Wastes in tier 3. If you were to get Luke, you would be getting a character who's only good in one game mode. And you have to ask yourself the question, why?
That's why you look at both tier lists, because guess what, bro? Some characters are really good in TOA and really fucking bad in Weewa. That's actually most characters in the fucking game. And guess what other endgame mode exists that Luke is incredibly strong in? The boss rush game mode. where Luke fucks this shit completely. So 2 out of the 3 endgames are single target oriented, and 1 of them is AoE based. So in reality, Luke is actually more valuable than a Weewa-centric unit.
Why would you get a character who's only good in one game mode when you can get a character?
Well, this just shows that I don't think Analytical Vibes knows what end state matrix is, because it's actually 2 of them.
Character who's good in both in terms of value. You'd be getting double the value.
You want to know who's good in both? Let me show you who's good in both. Frolova and Sigrika. By this logic, you should not pull any unit except for Lova and Sigrika. Just so you know, take it from Analytical Vibes himself. You shouldn't be pulling any units other than these 2, because these are the only ones that are in Tier 0, Tier 0.5 in both game modes. Tier 1.5, Ameth. Tier 1, Augusta. Tier 1.5, Tier 1, Tier 1, Tier 3, Tier 0, right? Tier 0.5 and Tier 0. Tier 0 and Tier 0.5. So, by Analytical Vibes logic, you shouldn't be pulling anybody other than these 2. That's the kind of retarded analysis that's in this video, bro.
Not to mention, this tier list assumes that if you were to get Carlotta right now, that she's not going to be dead as soon as the next character comes out. Cartethyia, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Carlotta and Phoebe are older units. They're not of the same value as Cartethyia, simply because...
Yes, and you know who Cartethyia got mogged by? Sigrika. So why aren't you talking about that, you dumb fucking idiot? Sigrika took a shit on Cartethyia. A fat steaming one, if we're gonna be honest. Why aren't you talking about that? Isn't she up here? Oh wait, this is where Sigrika actually is, bro. Mogged. Literally mogged your digital girlfriend. So this whole entire argument you're making, oh, well, Carlotta's gonna get mogged later, and Luke's not good. You could just make the same argument for this fucking unit that you've been shilling the entire video like a pathetic fucking ex, bro. Bro, like, you're literally talking about this Cartethyia unit like she's real. I've never seen somebody get this mad and simp this much to such a pathetic degree. All the reasoning you're using over here could just be applied for this unit to this one. You know this, right? All of this, oh, well, Cartethyia is actually high. Why aren't you talking about Sigrika being better than Cartethyia in every game mode? Bro, this shit is so pathetic, it's unreal.
They're older. They're on their way out, and Cartethyia is still trying to hold by a thread.
No, she already got modded by Sigrika based off your reasoning, so just shut the fuck up and pull Sigrika then, little bro.
They're not the same value. They're worse. So not only is this tier list dumb, because it requires the use of a team tier list in order for it to make any sense, but it leads to a whole bunch of illogical conclusions.
I love how he's just showing the regular tier list, though. He's talking about how dumb the tier list is when this is the reverted one that he was begging for like a little dog. He was begging for the tier list to be reverted, and this is the one that's on his screen. Bro, it's like he doesn't even realize what he's fucking saying, because this is... He could have just used the footage from here, but instead he, like... This is the value one. He could have just used the... Anyways, this video is so shit, it's unbelievable.
One of which that I detailed right now, which is the partner tag, and another one, which is the expert tag, claiming that if you play Cartethyia better, her value increases, which doesn't make any sense. The value of a character is fixed. It doesn't matter.
The value is based off their relative performance, flexibility, and cost, and if you can make the performance go up, the value goes up. What the fuck?
Matter how well you play them. It's determined by whether you have their signature weapons or their teammates. The value of a character doesn't increase. However, in a performance-based tier list, the tags make sense.
Value is based off of performance. Performance is one of the factors of value. And so if you can make the performance go up without increasing the cost, the value goes up. How do you get something so simple so wrong? How? How?
If you have this character with this partner, they perform at this level. And if you play them better, they perform at this level. All of the tags make sense. Let's address some comments flooded on my videos.
Okay, so he just went in and just said the most illogical shit ever and just said he was right. Awesome, that's what he's been doing the entire fucking video.
By his community after he posted this stupid stream, all right?
All right, let's check it out.
This is moron number 1. GG, guys. Y'all won just because you couldn't understand the list properly.
Again, 0 likes?
I understand the list better than this guy. I understand the list better than anyone.
I'm the only one who should be getting praised for understanding Pride with tier lists. I'm the only one who should be getting praised, even though I can't seem to fucking read anything on it. Bro, you like just didn't even read this point. You didn't even read this shit about the weapons. You didn't read any of this shit. And now you're being fucking enviosity light, bro.
Because I was there when the list was written.
I was there when the list was written. I know everything about it. But apparently, I know nothing about it. Because we just proved how little how confidently incorrect you are. There's a reason why I put up this whole dynamic over here. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, a cognitive bias where individuals with low ability or knowledge in a specific domain overestimate their competence. This guy is out here thinking he is like the arbiter of anything Pridewood tier list related because apparently he saw the first version of it. That doesn't help when you can't fucking even read a whole goddamn sentence and you go on an entire 7-minute tangent. And I think the most hilarious part of it all, right, is him saying, I know for certain that they calculate based off of signatures because look, I went to the calculations page and look over here, all these numbers, look, they're based off of using the signature. I'm going to ignore the fact that they've also done calculations with the other weapons and just not show this part of the page. I'm not gonna lie, this whole insinuation that you've been there from the start only makes you look dumber. Because I would expect that you'd have at least a little bit more understanding about how any of this shit worked if that was the fucking case.
I'm not saying I consulted with Pridewood. I say that I'm just really knowledgeable because this is what I do.
No, you're not. You are the dumbest meta take person I've ever fucking seen. And my personal opinion is that unless you like buckle in and do some actual fucking research, nobody should be watching you for a single meta take ever again. Bro, you have just eviscerated, you like using that word, I think you found it on thesaurus.com maybe the other fucking day, your entire fucking reputation in this community. And you're out here standing on top of this pillar made out of your own shit, bragging about how high up you are.
Just analyze things because I'm sick. Moron number 2, you should read the changelog, bud. Okay.
And we know for certain he didn't read anything.
Okay, so here's what's so interesting about this. Saint read a section of the tier list that claimed that Pridewood is not using signature weapons. And because of that, he was actually misinformed. Denzel Washington once famously said, he said, if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed, and if you do watch the news, you're misinformed. Saint read that log, and he was misinformed about the signature weapons and how they're used in the tier list.
So, is he saying that because he didn't read it, he actually knows more? Yeah, What the fuck does Denzel Washington even have to do with this? He's an actor. He's a fucking actor. What?
Or at least he just has some cognitive dissonance. And then he claims that because if I didn't read it, I'm uninformed. But of course I read it.
No, you didn't. We have so much proof. All you do is say that you read this fucking changelog. And it's so clear by all of the things we see, you did not even get anywhere close to doing that.
Moron number 3. Really didn't cook with this video. Reading the criteria and rule section would make a lot more sense on why certain characters are where they are.
And this is the guy that said for the criteria and rule section, again, ladies and gentlemen, that it was exactly the same, even though it says right here in the changelog that the criteria and rule section changed. And remember, I'm gonna get the exact fucking part of the transcript over here just so we can, again, expose how dumb this fucking dude is. Let me look up the same. Oh, wait, was it hasn't changed?
By the way, this is just an explanation of the tier list. This is not changed since they made the tier list.
This has not changed since they made the tier list. What a stupid retard. He just further proves he can't fucking read any of this shit. And he just keeps repeatedly stating this shit over and over and over and over. I was there. I was there when they started it. What is that supposed to mean, bro? When you can't fucking read. Literally, you just confirmed you can't fucking read.
Retarded. He's autistic. Oh wait, I know I can't say that anymore. I'm supposed to be politically correct. This guy's a moron. You know why? In my video,
you're the moron.
I provided overwhelming evidence for why I think the Pridewood value tier list is terrible. A lot of people disagreed with my video up until 10 minutes, and then they started to see when I compared it to other tier lists.
You're dumb as shit. You just made a bunch of shit up, spliced information in a way that I don't think anybody could understand, and after you've gone ahead and mentally damaged your audience so much with the bullshit you're spewing from your stupid fucking mouth, then you could be convinced to fucking anything at this point.
I needed to convince people why I think I'm right. Saint Tontas offered no evidence for why he thinks that I'm wrong. He didn't.
I don't even think I need to play anything for that one, right? I don't even think I need to say anything, right? This idea that I had no evidence. Yeah, okay. Let's just move on past that. This guy is cooked mentally.
Didn't engage with the video. He didn't watch the video. He didn't engage.
Because I know your video is shit, and we have proven that this video is one of the shittiest Wuthering Waves videos on the platform. It's so garbage, it's unreal. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel so bad for my audience for having to read, or really just listen to, all the shit you've been spewing for the past 20 fucking minutes.
With any of the ideas that make a value tier list flawed. He just said, I didn't read the changelog, thus the video is not worth engaging with.
Yes, because you have no fucking idea what you are talking about when you went ahead and are still saying that signature weapons were included for everybody.
And he didn't even need to convince this moron right here that he's right. He just says it, and this guy believes him.
Now he's just saying I'm making shit up without proof. Good lord.
The difference between me and Saint is that I will provide you with overwhelming evidence. Even now, I'm providing evidence for why I think this guy is a moron.
What evidence? All you've showed is a bunch of comments, and then characters on the side, and then just talk. You literally said, I'm right about everything on this tier list because I was there from the start. That's your overwhelming evidence. I was there from the start. So everything when it comes to tier lists, I'm an expert at them. What?
Because he just listens to someone. He didn't even watch the video. So
I don't need to, because I knew it was full of shit, just like how this one is.
Come up with his own opinion. He listened to someone else who also didn't watch the video and said that I'm wrong. Moron number 4. Nami Pontus was right about Pride Win. And then we have this person right here, a value lover. What does this guy have to say? Ron Dalgard. What a great comedy. The previous tier list was great in terms of pull value, considering every parameter. And now we have a doo-doo water power tier list just as for other games, GGWP. This is so stupid. Basically, he's saying that following a formula that is tried, true, and successful for other tier lists and every other game in existence is wrong.
Because you already have it here on the team's tier list, you stupid fucking idiot, but I don't even think you know how this one works. Because now we just have 2 tier lists that are exactly the same. We now just have 2 tier lists that are literally just the fucking same. That's it. That's what you have pushed for with your stupidity. You are actually too dumb to have a proper meta discussion about this game.
Not to mention that he says it was great in terms of pull value, but that's actually not true. Because of the various assumptions Pridewin makes about what you do and don't have on your account, and illogical conclusions that you can come to claiming that Carlotta and main DPS Phoebe have the exact same value as Cartethyia with Chacona.
He just doesn't even understand the idea that these characters are really good with free options and that Cartethyia is dog shit with the free options and needs her sig. This concept is just completely over his fucking head. Right? Like, he can't come to terms with the idea that Cartethyia is one of the most signature reliants, if not the most signature reliant unit in the game, because she scales off HP, and this is the only weapon in the game that gives a massive HP stat like this. She's dog shit with every other option, and if you don't use her sig, she's a really bad character and it's not very good. And it's just like, this concept to him cannot even be considered in his mind because he's so much of a simp. It's unbelievable. Remember, bro is about to cry talking about the meta position of these teams. He was literally about to fucking tear up talking about how Cartethyia needs Chacona. The idea that his character, right, could have like some restrictions literally got him to the point of emotionally bursting.
Or if you don't have Chacona, they actually have more value with her. That's probably the dumbest thing that could possibly come out of this tier list.
If you think a Cartethyia without Chacona is more valuable than a Carlotta, you are on crack. And you just don't play the game.
Carlotta and main DPS Phoebe have the same value as Cartethyia with Chacona. Wow. Okay.
He really just did not read this. Like, I'm sorry. He just genuinely did not read. Signature weapons may be given to characters who strongly benefit from them at a slight penalty of an added cost, which is them getting bumped down a rank on the tier list. That's the slight penalty. They get bumped down a rank, and he just has not read that, refuses to read it, refuses to acknowledge it, and like is pretending it doesn't exist for some reason.
Okay. Let's wrap this up. I didn't make this video.
Thank God.
for Saint Tontas because he won't watch it.
I just spent like 2 hours farming it, and people are absolutely... I just spent 2 hours farming it to 1,000 CCV on Twitch. Everyone on this channel thinks you're a fucking idiot now. Then I'm going to upload this onto YouTube later, and then everyone there is going to think you're a fucking idiot too. So... yeah, no, you were just wrong there as well. There's more things you're wrong about in this video than things you're actually right about. And I'm gonna be frankly real. I don't even know what you were right about in this vid. I think you were actually wrong about everything. Literally everything.
He doesn't engage with ideas, and he's not going to watch this video at all.
It's a free farm. Why do you think I made this comment, you stupid retard? Thanks for the free farm. Don't you wish you took me up on this offer now? I bet you did. But for some reason, you have this misplaced ego, entirely driven by the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you think you're way smarter than you actually are. Way smarter than you actually are. And it's led to you getting fueled and gassed up by the dumbest people in this community, my haters. And because so many of my haters will just say you're based and you're right because you said Saint bad, you actually think you're right. What a pathetic display. Pathetic.
I made this for you, the viewer, to defend myself against the incredible statements that he's made against me.
The incredible statement that you didn't fucking read any of this shit, and then you just proved in so many different instances that you did not, in fact, read any of this shit.
Saint will now proceed to go on a endless tirade attacking me. After this video was published...
So, wait a second. I wasn't going to react to it because I won't engage, but now I'm going to go on an endless tirade attacking you. Which one is it?
And people from his community who sometimes watch this video, they'll send it to him. And then he will just keep spamming videos against me. I mean, this guy will come for my throat. I just know that it's true. Am I...
What a little bitch, drama queen, pussy. I don't even... like, bro, there's so many words you could use.
going to keep engaging back and forth with him? Most likely not. Because this...
Oh, no, you're going to get farmed into infinity and beyond. Don't worry. Until I get, like, some form of apology from you. Hey, anything's on the table right now, analytical dipshit. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is the thing. Your meta takes are so awful, so clueless, and so bad that anyone from here on out could get farmed like crazy. You are now a 4x Tassenfield, and the event's going to be live for a very long time.
This is not the kind of content I want to make.
Oh, too bad for you, buddy.
In fact, I started my channel to not become a drama farmer, and yet here I am.
Those are ironic words to say when your entire video is just filled with literal misinformation, ad hominem insults. You say that you're literally, like, you literally confirm your enviosity light. I was there when the tier list was created, so I am right about everything. That's your overwhelming evidence, literally. The irony is crazy here.
Being dragged into a conflict that I have no interest in. In Saint Tontas' video reviewing this tier list of the value one, I watched it. It's like an hour long. He spends the entire time running defense for this tier list. What's so strange about this is that Saint is usually a Kuro bot running defense for Kuro, but here he is running defense for Pridewin, which is just a third-party site that he has no allegiance or loyalty to.
Because the tier list was objectively helpful, and the only issue is that members of this community are too retarded to understand it. And you are just confirming that you're a part of that second half of the community. Maybe the second, third, I don't know. You're just really dumb.
It doesn't even make sense to me why he's bending over backwards to defend the value-based tier list. Now people keep asking me, should you use Pridewin? You know, can Pridewin be trustworthy? After this most recent change, the answer is most definitely yes. Pridewin right now has the best Wuthering Waves tier list on the internet. Everywhere. You will not find a better tier list than this. This tier list is near perfect. Now, I have outlined many times before that I still have certain problems with this tier list, but I'm not going to nitpick it. We can argue about where one character should or should not.
I just need to speed this up. This guy is just waffling so hard and he's so fucking dumb. It's unbelievable, bro. Holy shit. Hey, just get me out of here, bro.
Not be placed, like how I believe that Sagrika should be tier 0. But that's a minor issue compared to an entire value-based tier list fundamentally leading to incorrect conclusions. Let's talk about Cartethyia. Oh my goodness, this was one of the dumbest value-based things ever. So Cartethyia was placed with a partner tag here in tier 1.5 or 2.
That's because she works in one team in the game, you fucking moron. So no, she's not very high value when you can just run Chu Yan and Shorekeeper and get almost the same results. while you're pulling Cantarella just to like just to work in one team. There's literally one. It's with Frilova. That's it.
The value-based tier list. But that doesn't really make any sense. They're essentially claiming that if you have Frilova with Cantarella, her value is down here.
It is because you have alternatives for Frilova that don't involve using Cantarella, and you get close to the same level of T performance. He's too dumb to understand this.
Which is a contradictory statement, because the partner tag is supposed to illustrate that as long as you have this character...
Alright, I need to go address a retard over here. Usually the sub DPS is only used in one team as well. Oh, okay. So let me just look over here. So you're saying, your statement was the sub DPS is only used in one team. You know what? You're right, man. All these sub DPSs over here, they're only used in one team. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. She's used in like 4 of them. She's also used in like 4 or 5 of them. He's used in 3. She's used in like all of them. She's also used in like 3 or 4 teams. Are you intentionally just being retarded? Legitimately. I feel like you are like an Analytical Vibes viewer, and like you're just as stupid as he fucking is. No joke. What kind of dipshit statement is this? How could you even say that? Genuinely.
Then the said above character performs at this level. The value tier list promotes flexibility, and the partner tag illustrates that this character is not flexible, but as long as you have that partner, they perform at the level. So Cantarella is ranked down here with a partner tag. It doesn't make any sense.
It's because, and you would know this if you ever actually played Frilova, there are alternatives you could put in for Cantarella like a shorekeeper, and they give you almost the same performance. And so pulling this unit, Cantarella, over here, who needs Frilova, and that isn't even that much better than shorekeeper, is a low value pull.
Because Cantarella and Frilova is one of the strongest teams in Wuthering Waves right now. And it would lead you to think.
Chu Yan is more important for Frilova than Cantarella, and the fact you don't understand that just shows how stupid you are when it comes to this game's meta. Fucking analytical fraud, bro.
Oh, I shouldn't get Cantarella because she has low value, even though Cantarella...
You shouldn't! Just run Chu Yan shorekeeper Frilova!
Actually has great value if you have Frilova. That's the...
She does it still. It's still not good.
Point. Wow. I mean, holy crap. I am exhausted.
Yeah, me too. I had to listen to your retarded shit for, this is almost a 2-hour recording now. But don't worry. We're gonna farm the fuck out of you. Because you decided you want to try to farm me. And your method of farming me, Analytical Vibes, is just lying the whole video, straw-manning me, and literally making stuff up, and just confirming that you don't, in fact, fucking read anything when it comes to these tier lists. And you have been exposed, literally, in every single way possible when it comes to your lack of understanding, your lack of care, and your absolute patheticness when it comes to addressing any of the critiques that you received for your dog shit reaction and your dog shit points. And so, the good news is that this is probably going to be a memorable vid. I'm going to find a way to make it really spicy, because this is the really, really unfortunate part. Like I said, I'm guilt-free. I'm absolved. And the reason for that is because I gave you an out and you decided not to take it because you actually thought you were spitting. And you got propped up by the dumbest community in gacha history, my haters, into believing that. And the higher you are, right, the easier it is for you to fall. And boy, oh boy, you've got a long way down, brother man. Good luck. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.